was a great time, wasn't
I don't know. I was born in '81, so I don't know anything about the early '80s.
it? It was a great time. Oh, it was just, it was all, well, I could get into it, but no. I, I, Space Invaders and Atari and about every restaurant you went to, cheeseburger and French fries and Coke. That was the American meal, right there in the '80s. That's why Americans got so fat.
And that was when the kids would go outside and play, and not sit in front of a computer and play games.
Yeah. We would ride our bikes. Girls would go out and they would jump rope,
Roller skate.
roller skate, hula hoop. Boys would go outside. We'd have mud ball fights, or we'd make mud pies and throw them at the girls.
Our neighborhood had a kids kickball game every weekend.
Oh, I love kickball.
We played kickball all Friday night until that late.
We're right there on the cul-de-sac. Oh, I love that game.
All the kids played.
That's awesome.
Every kid got a chance to kick the ball one time. But we played for hours, so everybody kicked the ball over and over and over. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I was unbeatable that game in dodgeball. You could not hit me, ever.
Dodgeball, I love that.
You could never.
These people
I'm
know
sorry.
who we're talking about, probably.
I apologize. We're talking. See, when I was a kid, you know, you couldn't beat me at dodgeball. So I was like the licorice man that bent in every different way. So any way the ball came, I would bend, and you could not get me. I tried the one that now. If I tried bending that way now, I would lock in that position, and then I'd have to go to the hospitals to get stretched back out.
For those of you who know who the licorice man is, like me, let me put it in easier terms. If you remember Gumby, that's what he was.
Yeah. Okay, let's get back to what we were doing here. So, all these things will come upon the unbeliever. So if you're walking through, if you're walking through life and you have completely ignored God, which I have come across 2 people in my life, I've tried to reach, and they're like, you know, I don't need him, you know, I don't need all this God stuff, and well, you know, then they're going to end up facing this. They're going to end up facing hell on earth. And you know, it's bad now, but it is going to get a million times worse. And the 5th angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from the heaven unto the earth, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose smoke out of the pit. And there rose smoke out of the pit as smoke of a great furnace, and the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. And there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth, and unto them was given power as scorpions of the earth have power. And it was commanded them that they should not hurt and it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which do not have the seal of God on their foreheads. Okay? This is people who missed the rapture, okay? But then they have repented, and they have accepted Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior, okay? Then you are forgiven. You've been given that protection and that seal from God. And to them it was given that they should not kill them, but that they should be tormented 5 months, and that their torment was as the torment as a scorpion when he striketh a man. And in those days shall men seek death, and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. And the shapes of the locusts were like unto horses prepared unto battle, and their heads were as it were crowns like gold, and their faces were as the faces of men. And they had hair as the hair of women, and their teeth were as the teeth of lions. And they had breastplates as it were the breastplates of iron, and the sound of their wings was the sound of chariots of many horses running to battle. Excuse me. And they had tails like unto scorpions, and there were stings in their tail, and their power was to hurt men 5 months. And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon. One woe is past, and behold, there came 2 woes more hereafter. So I'm going to stop right here. For a second. So I'm going to read the rest of this too. Chapter 10, I'm going to stop at chapter 10, but I'm going to stop right here for a second. We still have the 7th angel. Oh yeah. So this right here explains like what's going to happen, all the things that's going to take place, or most of the things. If you're still here during the tribulation and you're one of those people that have visited the channel but yet have not repented, and all this stuff happens, believe me, the videos will still be out there. This may all be destroyed, but you know the videos will still be out there. Yeah, people may have broke in here and looted and stole everything, and because during that time, people will do anything to sell stuff or to get stuff, to do anything what they need to do to survive. It's just like a hungry animal. A hungry animal will go to great lengths to do what they have to do to survive. A human being is the same way. You know, when we're pushed to the extreme, we'll go to the extreme to survive. But then they push God out of the equation and say, you know, I ain't got time to wait on God. I ain't got time to I just ain't got time to for God to make up His mind whether He's going to help me or not. Okay, you know, I've heard it before. Everything works on His time, not my time. Well, I ain't got time to wait for that. Okay, well, if you keep believing like that, well, then that's how your life is going to end up. Okay, and the more you think like that, the worse off it's going to get. But you have got to put your trust, your faith, everything, your whole life in Christ. And even me. I failed a test, and I'll explain it now to you. I told one of the guys at work, I said, you know, us as people, we're not able to see around corners. And I said, God the Father is. And sure enough, God tested me. Because I was having a little issue with my driver's license. And 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 of course it called me that morning at work, and it just blew me up. You know, I just blew up, not at her, but I just blew up, and I had a bad day all day long. So instead of saying, "Okay, Lord, I understand that you know there's something going on right now that I can't see, but I know that you can, and that I know that everything is okay because you can see it." Instead of doing that, Satan found his way to creep into to me and to make me blow up so that I would not see what God was doing. So, I'm going to read one more thing here, and then I'm going to explain it, and then we're going to close, and I'm going to do a prayer request, and then we'll go into prayer, okay? Okay. So, verse 13, the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar, which is before God, saying to the sixth angel, which had the trumpet, loose the four angels, which are bound in the great river Ephesus. And the four angels were loosed, which were prepared for which were prepared for an hour, and a day, and a month, and a year, for to slay the third part of men, and the number of the army of the horsemen were 200, see here, 200,000, yeah. And I heard the number of them. And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them, having the breastplate of fire and of justice and brimstone, okay, on their heads, and the horses. Let's see here, and the horses were as their. Okay, I'm sorry, and the. Let's see here, and the heads of the horses were as of the heads of lions, and out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone. Man. By these three were the third part of men killed, by the fire and the smoke, and by the brimstone, which issued out of their mouths. For their power is in their mouth and in their tails. For their tails were like unto the serpents, and had their heads, and had heads, and with them they do hurt. And the rest of men which were not killed by these plagues, yet repented not of, now listen to this, and repented not of the works of their hands, they that should not worship devils and idols of gold and silver or brass and stone or wood. Let me say it again. The works of their hands, that they should not worship devils and idols of gold and silver and brass and stone and of wood, which neither can see nor hear nor walk, neither repented they of their neither repented of their murders, nor their sorceries, nor of their fornications, nor of their thieves. And we're going to stop here on chapter 10. So, sorcery, that's what it was called back then, but today it's called Wicca, or witchcraft. And it ain't even called witchcraft anymore. People call it Wicca. And people say, well, you know, I'm not a bad witch, I'm a good witch. Well, you still study that stuff. That's sorcery. Okay? You studied that Wicca stuff, and it's telling you about the different elements of the earth and all this other stuff, and how okay. Let me use this. This right here is a Coke can, which is filled about halfway full of Coke, okay? Can this Coke can save you? Can this Coke can once you die, can this Coke can take you to heaven? It's made nothing more of aluminum and of 14 other metals. So, can the stuff inside help you? No, but it's very refreshing though.
Sugar and water, that's all it is.
And carbohydrates. So, people that are...
No carbohydrates, Bob. It's carbonation.
Oh, well, I got it wrong. I thought it was carbohydrates. I'm sorry. But anyways, what is carbohydrates in?
It's like, that's what gives you energy and stuff.
Well, yeah, popcake gives me energy.
Sugar, it's the sugar.
Exactly, there's carbohydrates in it. So, anyways, you cannot like pray to a chair or a wall or a sign or something steel or like a Buddha statue. A Buddha statue is not going to get up and talk to you and pat you on the back and say, okay, you're saved, everything's fine. There is one living God, only one living God made all of this, made us, made our souls, made the cosmos, the planets, the space. Okay, he made our brains. He gave us gifts. And you know, we take all that for advantage. Well, it's time to stop taking that for advantage and stop putting everything before God and start putting God before everything else. We need to put Him first. Don't you think it's about time that we start putting the Father first before everything else, before our fun, before our success, before our love and marriage and everything? We got to put the Father. If your marriage is failing, you put Him in your marriage. I have to just say, our marriage is not. Yeah, we have our ups and downs, but I love this woman with all my heart and soul, and I'm the kind of man that would give my life in a second just to save hers. Okay? And I'm not going to say if your car is breaking down, but you know, good things come from the Father above, okay? But when you remove God from your life, okay, so good things are coming from the Father. You're here, okay? But when you say, okay, I don't want that, okay, and you go off on your own, well then how can you expect it? Okay, how can you expect it? Then you have no more good things coming down from God. Satan creeps in. Try this. Do this. Oh, you do that. And oh, it sounds good at first. It looks good. It looks too good to be true. And then before you know it, you make the wrong deal at the office. A financial deal goes wrong. Let's say there's a deal where you could triple your money. You only got to invest your entire life savings, $200,000. Okay, and you do it without discussing it with your wife or your family. And Satan's behind this whole thing. Yeah, go ahead and do it, because you'll come out a millionaire. I guarantee it. You do it, and you come out flat broke. Your house gets foreclosed on. Okay. Your wife leaves you after 20 something years. Your kids hate you. Okay. That nice house that you had, those nice cars that you had, your cars are taken away. Your home is foreclosed on. Okay? Those memories that you had are destroyed now. You become homeless. You were looked upon to give your family that safe and secure environment, but you removed yourself from God. Then therefore Satan creeped in, and that is what happens. He comes to steal, kill, and to destroy. God doesn't want that. God comes to love you and to protect you, and great things comes from the Father above.
Can I share a story?
Sure. Come on.
I'm not going to say people's names in the story, but I went to a church in Hamilton one morning, and I'm going to just say it was about 7-8 miles away from my house at the time. And I went to church, and as I was coming back, I was low on gas. I had 6 to 7 miles left in my car. And I had just left church, and I prayed to God. I said, God, give me enough gas to get to the gas station on Cincinnati Road. Due to the safety things within Hamilton, I did not want to stop till I got to where I knew the places I was going. Lo and behold, God got me to the gas station by putting spiritual gas in my car. God had actually got me to the gas station and had filled up my gas tank about that much to get me